Hey everybody, the results for the San Francisco mayoral race are in, and the incumbent London Breed won in fine fashion with 60% of the vote. The breakdown is as follows. Joel Ventresca gained 6.4% of the vote. William Pang, 2.46% of the vote. Robert L. Jordan, 1.32%. Paul Yarborough Robertson, 4.1%. Ellen Z. Zhao, 13.9%. London and Breed, 60.12%. Write-in candidates scored as a total 93% or 1% of the vote, for a total of 93,560 votes out of a potential 495,050 votes that could be cast. This year, the total was 105,791. And now we look at the Board of Supervisors District 5 race. And in that race, we have a hair. This is how it breaks down. We have Ryan Lamb, 4.5% of the vote. Dean Preston, 45.14% of the vote. Novella O'Meara with 1.3%. Valley Brown with 44.86% of the vote. Write-in, 32% and 1% of the vote. City Attorney Dennis Herrera scores big, 79.06% win. He had nobody running against him, which I think is a current trend that should be talked about, because in the Oakland City Attorney's race for the past 2 terms, Barbara Parker hasn't had anyone running against her. So what does that say about the state of the talent of lawyers who would be political enough to want to run for the office of city attorney in San Francisco or Oakland or someplace else in California? It's an interesting conversation to be had. Going on in this report, which means scrolling down in this report, we have the votes cast for for district attorney, and that was, the number of times cast for, this report's not written correctly, so I'll just, oh, here we go, right here, all right? This is a close race, and it with 80.8% of the vote, Chesa Boland was ahead 29.64%, closely followed by Susan Loftus with 28.97% of the vote. Leif Dauch, 14.67% of the vote. Nancy Tung, 19.85% of the vote. 14% and 1% went to write-in candidates. Public defender Mao Raju sent in 77.57% of the vote. Sheriff Paul Yamato, and he's 73.47% of the vote, and no challenger. Write-in candidates received 30% of 1% of the vote total. That was it. All right. Treasurer Jose Cisneros brought in 76.2% of the vote. No challengers. So a lot of these where there were no challengers, interesting statement on the lack of interest in running for elected office in the Bay Area with respect to many open positions. And so the incumbents win. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube. And congratulations again to the great San Francisco mayor and former San Francisco supervisor, London Breed.